Gentlemen, let me ask you something uncomfortable. Have you ever felt her body next to yours, but sensed that she was emotionally miles away? Have you ever wondered why the spark that once felt effortless now feels unpredictable? Fragile? Different? Most men believe attraction fades because of time. But what if I told you it often fades because of misunderstanding? Here's the truth very few men are ever taught. There isn't just one way to touch a woman. And more importantly, there are specific areas of her body that awaken deep emotional responses, and often long before anything physical happens. Yet most men only know 2 or 3 of these places, if they know any at all. I'm not speaking from guesswork. I'm a relationship psychologist, and for over 20 years, I've worked closely with couples at every stage of love: the newly obsessed, the quietly distant, the ones on the brink of walking away. And there is one pattern I've seen over and over again. Men try harder physically, while women disconnect emotionally. Today, I'm going to tell you what I wish I could have explained clearly to every man who ever sat across from me in my office searching for answers. No complicated theories, no fantasy promises, only what psychology, neuroscience, and real-life experience consistently reveal. But before we go further, answer this honestly. Do you truly know where and how a woman wants to be touched? I'm not talking about the obvious places most men immediately focus on. I'm talking about the areas that open her emotionally, the gestures that make her feel understood before her body even begins to respond. So many men tell me, I know my partner better than anyone. And yet when I ask them this question, the room becomes very quiet. Why? Because no one ever explained this properly. There is no instruction manual handed to you. And women, even when they feel these needs intensely, don't always express them clearly in words. Instead, they communicate differently. Through posture, through the softness or tension in their shoulders, through the way their eyes hold you or avoid you, through subtle signals most men never learn to read. Today, I'm going to share 7 key zones. But understand this clearly, these are not just physical locations. They are emotional gateways. If you understand them, and more importantly, if you approach them with the right intention, your partner's response can change in a way that feels almost transformative. Your hands will no longer be just hands. They will become a language. Let me clarify something critical. After more than 2 decades working with couples, one truth repeats itself relentlessly. Most men act on instinct. They assume that touching the right place automatically creates pleasure. But for women, pleasure does not begin mechanically. It begins with emotional safety. Many men genuinely believe they are doing everything right. But from a woman's perspective, the experience often feels one-sided, rushed, outcome-focused, disconnected. You may have asked yourself, why doesn't she react the way she used to? Why does her response feel less spontaneous over time? The answer is simpler than you think. What men take for granted rarely creates emotional depth for women. Women do not respond to stimulation alone. They respond to intention, to awareness, to presence. When a woman feels deeply and completely that you truly care about her experience, her body follows naturally. But here's the challenge. Women don't always tell you what they need. They show you. I once had a patient who said something that never left me. She looked at her partner and said, "Don't touch me just to touch me. Let me feel that you're really there first." That sentence captures what countless women feel but struggle to explain. This is not about physical contact alone. It is about opening a psychological door before you ever reach for her body. Now let's begin. Zone 1, the hands. We start with a place most men completely underestimate. A woman's hands are deeply connected to her emotional world. When you hold them slowly and gently, you're touching far more than skin. A soft stroke along her fingers. A calm, warm pressure in her palm. These gestures create a powerful sense of being understood. In my clinical experience, couples who continue holding hands, even after decades together, consistently maintain stronger emotional bonds. This is not coincidence. Hand contact releases oxytocin, the hormone responsible for trust, bonding, and emotional closeness. And here's something many men overlook. Several women have told me that careless hands instantly ruin the atmosphere. Cold hands, distracted touch, poor grooming. Clean, warm, intentional. Details matter. Zone 2, the nape of the neck. Right at the hairline, tension quietly gathers throughout the day. Stress settles there unconsciously. When you touch this area slowly, gently, without expectation, the body begins to relax. This is not a stimulation zone. It is a trust zone. I remember a man in his late 50s who felt invisible in his marriage. One evening, without any goal in mind, he stepped behind his wife as she stood near the window and placed his hand gently at the back of her neck. She paused. She exhaled. Then she turned toward him. That small gesture reopened something they believed was gone. Zone 3, the lower back between the waist and hips. This area represents stability. When you place your hands there gently, not gripping, not controlling, you communicate something powerful without words. I'm here. You're safe. And you're free. This works especially in ordinary moments. In the kitchen, in the quiet of the morning, standing together without speaking, your chest lightly against her back, your hands steady and warm, no performance required. Zone 4, behind the ear beneath the jawline, highly sensitive, only accessible when trust already exists. Too much pressure closes it. Warmth and lightness open it. Subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing psychology content, and tell us in comments what you want to see next. A woman once told me that this touch didn't make her feel desired. It made her feel valued. And for many women, feeling valued is what allows desire to grow. Zone 5, between the shoulder blades. Deeply overlooked. Psychologically, it represents protection, a place she cannot see herself. When you rest your hand there gently, you communicate reassurance. Her nervous system slows. Her thoughts soften. This touch is not sexual. And that is exactly why it is powerful. Zone 6, inner thighs near the knees. Let me be very clear. This is not about rushing intimacy. It is a transitional zone, close but respectful, suggestive but safe. When approached slowly, it communicates, I'm close and I respect your pace. Many men skip this step. And that's often where emotional trust begins to weaken. Zone 7, the lower abdomen around the navel. Often the most surprising, the lower belly is where instinct and emotion meet. This area requires complete sincerity. Place your hand there slowly, warmly, as if holding something precious. When a woman allows this, she is offering more than her body. She is offering her inner world. Why do these zones work? Because women do not respond to touch purely physically. They process it emotionally and neurologically. Research shows female skin receptors are highly sensitive, and these areas stimulate oxytocin release, the hormone of trust, bonding, and emotional openness. These are not simply erogenous zones. They are emotional sensors. They signal safety, and when her body feels safe, connection deepens naturally. Practical guidance. Slow down. Observe her reactions, not just her words. Use these touches in everyday life, not only during intimacy. Be consistent. Be mentally present. A man recently told me, I don't know what changed, but she feels closer. That's the point. Women don't always analyze the shift. They feel it. These 7 zones are not buttons. They are doors. Each time you approach them with sincerity, you silently say, I see you. I respect you. You matter. And that, not performance, not pressure, is what women truly want. Connection. It is never too late to begin again. Sometimes one intentional touch is enough to open an entirely new chapter.